Welcome to Regenerate Your Reality webinar series, all about regeneration in every way. I'm very excited to come on here today and go through different natural ways of parenting and bringing up our children. And I'm just about to embark on the birth portal and ceremony of life and this initiation into motherhood. And I'm excited to talk to my dear friend, Katie, and just get some insight and wisdom from her about all things motherhood and raising children naturally. So, yeah, I'd love to pass it to Katie to introduce herself and to just gain the wisdom from you. So we have 4 children, starting with my
Yes.
first.
Yeah. Thank you, Jean. I'm so happy to be here. Jean and I've known each other a very long time. And so it's wonderful to be going into motherhood because then we can start to share that. I've been in the motherhood journey 8 years now with 4 kids in 7 years, or really 4 kids born in 6.5 years, and all born at home. And specifically, the first three were in rural Ireland on the edge of Cork, home births, and our third baby was completely on our own, just my husband and I. We didn't engage the system at all. I guess they call that free birth, but to me, it was just normal, what we just wanted to do. The environment affected that decision a lot because it was like COVID and everything. But anyway, and then the fourth baby was born in America, but another home birth. So a lot of experience that with it. And along that journey, I've helped other women. I've attended their births in Ireland in somewhat of a doula position, not a midwife, just a support. And I got really passionate about maternity care in general, like just natural maternity care, and living the way we did, somewhat off grid in Ireland, forced me to learn to be very creative with not very much. We sacrificed having 2 incomes so I could be home with the kids and homeschool them, and just completely absorbed this new vocation, this role in my life. And it's been the best decision I've ever made. But in that, along the way, I've learned to make our own medicine at home. A lot of things, we're not 100% natural, but I strive for that every time a kid gets sick or something's going on with their tummy. Yeah. And so I'm just really passionate about birth and all the things. And then we homeschool now. So it's just a full-time job all around, and it's the best thing ever. So I have a lot to say about many different topics. So thank you.
Yeah, I'd love to dive into um, just the way of starting to after you birth and just ways of nurturing and the child so that they feel belonging and love, and maybe go into co-sleeping and different methods of soothing the baby when they need that mother.
Yeah, 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 all those things. So first thing, especially in America, right? I know you're not in America, and again, starting my motherhood started in rural Ireland. Like, we weren't really going out and getting the whole nursery set up and all of that most people do. And it's fun. You're excited for the baby. Like, I love home decor. It's very tempting to go out and get all the things. But the first thing for me that struck me so hard when the moment my eldest was born, his name's River, it was, I never wanted to leave him in this. We didn't get a crib, but we got this little Irish bassinet thing. And I just never wanted to leave him in it. And he didn't stay asleep anyway. And at just the moment he was in my arms, I thought, this is weird. Like, why would I not sleep with him? One, you're breastfeeding all the time. Hopefully that all works out for you. And you just want to be holding them because that's when they're happy. And it just feels right. It's hard, I think, with your first baby because you just did this massive thing of giving birth and you're a little bit fragile and open. I always say a woman that just gave birth is like a house with all the windows open and the door. You have to be very careful what you're around and who's around you and all these things because you're so open that it's a bit vulnerable. And hence why your home, staying as close as possible to your safe circle of family and people has been, very intimate and not leaving your bed, especially the first 10 days. So for me, co-sleeping and for my husband as well, it just was natural and we've never changed it. And our babies are all really good sleepers because of it. I know there's sleep training out there, but again, that never suited me. I think that, I know for a fact that was starting to be created and it became a huge moneymaker. There's so many books out there about sleep training for babies because one, you're vulnerable. And yeah, even when you do co-sleep, you're going to be more tired than usual. You're taking care of a new human being. You're not meant to like go back to a heavy duty job and sit in traffic. So people in different countries, specifically America, that do that, they have to sleep train for survival, but it's not natural. You are meant to, in the ideal situation, and I'm not judging those people. Some women have to go back to work to survive. They're doing their best. They love their child just as much, but it is a unnatural act. So when you do co-sleep, you naturally get into the rhythms with your baby and you tend to be able to nap. We were talking about this. You tend to be able to nap easier during the day, especially when you just have your first baby. Like laying down that bigger afternoon nap, for example, really suits the woman and it gives you that much more contact with your baby. Your mother and baby are constantly communicating through the skin. Sorry, my big computer behind me is flashing on and off. So that light, sorry about that. Anyway, but there's constant communication through their skin and then the baby's right there feeling safe. So typically they go into a deeper sleep, because they can feel you. And then you might be able to step away, go to the bathroom, make a cup of tea because they're in a really deep sleep. But you've started off, you're in a co-sleep situation. I find that has suited us very well. And when we were pregnant again, for example, with the second, third, fourth baby, that whoever was the toddler at the time is still in bed with us as well for most of the night. Or we might put a mattress on the floor next to the bed. And it's just, again, it's like, maybe I'm just lazy, but I do not want to get out of bed and walk across to a room and like constantly be up on my feet as a mother. That really is what wakes you up and disturbs your sleep. So for me, I'm like, I always joke with my husband. I'm like, let's put 2 king size beds next to each other. Let's have a house where there's this giant room because everyone will sleep better. And you're just all together. The kids, you don't have to hear the kid down the hall going, Mom. Anyway, our 5-year-old sleeps through the night really well, but still it is nice. So I find co-sleeping is very safe. I think the mother is very aware. You're hyper aware of your child's breathing. And for me, the only way I was going to be comfortable enough to go to sleep, especially those first couple of nights you have a newborn baby, you're a little bit like you're on endorphins. You just gave birth and you're like, whoa, there's just a human next to me. This is incredible. And you're kind of like trying to sleep, but you're like, it's Christmas. There's a baby. Oh my gosh. And it's a little bit like, woo. And then day 3, you're like, I haven't really slept that well, because you're high on endorphins. But for me, the only thing that maybe would allow me to sleep is that the baby's right next to me. I can feel their little breath on my chest. And I'm like, okay, we're safe. I don't think I would be able to sleep. So I think that's kind of how it all started. And you're so aware. You mothers naturally are designed by God to not go into such a deep sleep that they're going to roll over their baby or something, unless you're on some weird medication that does that. You just won't. You are wired and you feel deep sleep. But I swear, the second that baby just goes, you're going to be like, you're just awake. And again, you're right there able to respond to them. Okay, practical things. You can stop me at any point. Do you want me to say practical things?
Can I ask you a question
Yeah.
about, did you put the babe in the center of your king bed and make it like a little pillow for like, or did you
Yeah.
a little
That's practical.
like the
That's
breast
practical.
pillow, like I have a breastfeeding pillow that my
Yeah.
friend, she would put the baby kind of in the center of.
Yep. You have to be careful with pillows. It's a newborn baby too. Like they do, it's the whole suffocation thing. Like even if you're right next to them. So for us, what's always worked and has been just totally safe is the first couple days. This is an ideal for everybody. The first couple days, I have a couple pillows behind me, and the baby is belly to belly. The belly's on my chest, and we're just like naked. And so I'm slightly inclined, like almost like, and it's not very great for your spine. I only do that the first couple of days, but that's just because babies sometimes have mucus, and I just find that the baby being somewhat upright, like laying on me, one, you're getting amazing skin to skin contact all night long, and you're like breathing together and they're healing, but also then they're upright and they're clearing their lungs those first couple of days. Just little like sneezes and stuff is normal. So that's how I just always sleep that way. The first night I'm almost sleeping upright like this, and I'm like really got good pillow support.
Yeah.
And then I just have a very light, safe baby blanket over the baby, and then the house is warm, and I'm usually so hot, like sweaty from giving birth, so it just like I don't really need a blanket. Okay, then come day 3, day 4, day 5, what we do is typically put the baby up near our heads in the middle of us. We've had different situations where we've had like kind of a firmer little pillow that had like slight divot in it, like, and the baby slept in there, but it was like right up by our heads. Mm-hmm. The main key is you should all have separate blankets, because the whole like suffocation scary thing is if you have a big duvet and you're like covering your body and you accidentally cover the baby, you won't do that. But duvets as well, because we just are, so we're not covering up. Excuse me. So that's kind of the practical side of it. You'll just feel it out. My little baby, Honora, the youngest, Merlin happened to be my toddler in the middle almost all the time. So she actually never went in the middle of us. I was upright those first few nights, holding her. And then I actually slept with the breastfeeding pillow like practically around my waist, because then I just kind of fall asleep. And then if she needed milk, I just sit up a tiny bit. The breastfeeding pillow is already there, and I'd go, and she'd pop on, and then I'd go back to my pillow. So that's the best. And then maybe the second week I was spooning her and we were face to face. So like, caught him on the edge, and you can get the edge protectors, or you could put your bed up against something, or you can just, move in more in the middle. But I absolutely love it. It is my favorite thing truly about mothering, is like cuddling them at night. I adore it. I love it. I think it builds a very deep bond quickly. And safety, and the bed is like we always say, it's our big family boat. It's like, come in the boat. Like the boat is the safe place. We don't discipline them in the boat. There's not like, the boat is the bed, and it's just where everyone chills out. And I love it. I don't know how people do it differently, honestly.
Yep. Everyone has their way, and every baby's different, obviously, and every mama's different. But yeah, I definitely, we have a king size bed, so we plan to sleep together, and we do have a bassinet, but I'll put right next to the bed if I I don't know how it's gonna,
maybe sometimes do that, like the moment baby's napping and you need to change your sheets, or you're just like fixing something on the bed and everything, it's really handy to have a safe place to set them down. Definitely, you know.
Yeah.
One thing I had for Honora, the youngest, that I never had with any of the others was kind of a big, comfy recliner chair next to the bed. That was life changing, amazing, because she's the fourth baby, and again, maybe there would be two or one kid in the bed, and it just gave me that other space to get up, and it was comfy enough to sleep in those first few days. But also just in the night, if you have to get up, because she had a little bit of acid reflux that first couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So she really had to be upright after feeds. And I never had that with another baby. And that was hard going because it was new to me. And I was like, wait, we can't just lay down flat. Like, I'm tired, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to kind of adjust. So that big comfy chair can be really helpful too.
For just burping her afterwards.
Yeah, burp, rubbing her back and just keeping her upright. For her, it was just, she needed to be kind of up on the shoulder and just bounced until she really had a good burp. Otherwise it would get caught and she'd wake up clearly with, like, I assume it probably felt like heartburn to her, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah.
Wow.
And that we could go into baby wearing in a sling. Do you have any slings?
Yeah, I have one Guatemalan sling, like a traditional Guatemalan custom, like what the Mayans use. I have one that is like I haven't figured out how to use it yet. I'll have to YouTube it or have a friend show me. I've got shown how to use. It's like a big long cotton comfortable thing.
Yeah.
Thing or wrap. Yeah. And then I have one little carrier thing that you can put on your back or your your tummy.
Like more techie, like with clips and yeah. Perfect.
I have all three.
Those are the three that sound perfect, because I always adjust as well. But yeah, co-sleeping to me naturally leads into baby wearing, or people would call it koala care, many different words for it. I am a huge baby wearing advocate. In fact, in Ireland, there was this thing called the sling library. So baby wearing slings, where we would meet up at this kind of toddler gym, and you would come and you'd speak about wraps and carriers, and mommies would come and they'd get to try on everyone else's. And it was just like a meetup for baby wearing moms to learn how to do new carriers, because some body types are different. Some moms couldn't wear certain things or whatever. Babies didn't like certain ones. And it was just this time to really help women get their head around it, because it can seem kind of intimidating. And, very likely the baby might cry the first time they're in it and they're on you and you're thinking, oh, this isn't working. And then you never do it again. But actually, it's the most natural thing ever. And it just takes a second. I find that having them full of milk and have a really good feed is when they're just about to be sleepy, is the perfect time to put them in the sling for the first time. And this is, of course, after you're feeling really strong and you're on your feet again, like past your 6 weeks postpartum. I never put a sling on until like at least 6 weeks postpartum, because of just, it's hard on your body a little bit. And you're just like holding your baby anyway, naturally. But the sling is like, okay, you're on your feet, you're really like ready to start cooking again and things like that. It's just amazing, and it helps soothe your baby. And again, you're in their rhythm. So one of the wonderful things about it is the Montessori, you've heard that term, right? Montessori philosophy and method is bringing a child down to their world, making their world like, suitable, and almost kind of bringing the world to the child, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, we're going to make the mirror low down. We're going to give you your own little like hook on the wall that's really low for you to do it yourself. And a special plastic knife for you to cut your own banana. And it's like really sweet. Okay. You're bringing the world to them. But as I've been going along my mothering journey, there's another philosophy to be more traditional, I would think more natural, which is bringing the child to the world. So the baby wearing is the opposite. It's like you're not like necessarily all doing these things that are changing your life so drastically that you can't even cook a meal. You're bringing the baby up to your level. They're with you and they're in the motion of the world, yet so safe and so cocooned. And the biggest thing is they feel your heartbeat, which is the sound that they pretty much only heard and little other sounds in your womb. So that rhythm is right there and their head's right there. And when your boobies get stretchy enough, you can actually breastfeed in it. Kind of hard the first baby. My boobs are so stretchy now that it's like I literally can take it out like a hose and like pop it in their mouth when they're in on me. And nobody even knows it. I'll be in the store and I'm like, and it's in their mouth and I'm shopping and I just have my sweater on and nobody knows I'm feeding. Anyway, but that doesn't, that takes a while. um, but yeah, I think baby wearing is out of all the contraptions you can possibly get is the best investment. Get one you really love that you want to put on all the time and it will be life changing. Your baby will be on you. You'll be feeding well. You'll respond to them. You're right there. They can nap in it. And it also does this beautiful thing where you are naturally getting stronger. They're gaining weight. So like they're not heavy right away when you put them on. They're a tiny baby. But as they grow, they're gaining weight from your milk and you're therefore carrying more weight on your body. So you are getting stronger again and your muscles, your abs, everything is your back, you have to be so aware of your posture with it. It's actually this natural symbiotic thing that's happening where it's like you're kind of getting healthier by carrying them all the time. And it's just a beautiful rhythm, like all my babies, the carrier's another safe spot. So if I'm on the go, I can be in a loud, let's say, restaurant, and they'll fall asleep because they know the carrier. They've been in it so much, and it's like boom, that clips on. They're like, and it takes a little bit to get there, but I find that using that and using it early is huge. I think there's a temptation somewhat and of course you have to put the baby down. Like I'm not saying wear them constantly. Like there should be a little bit in the day where you give your body a break, you stretch, the husband holds the baby or something. But what was I going to say? Oh, there's a temptation, I think, to go, oh, they're sleeping. I'm going to walk away and I'm going to go do my things. And they might be sleeping in another room and then they don't sleep very well. They wake up, let's say 30 minutes later and you're like, okay, I can't finish what I was doing, whatever that was, and it could be very stressful as a new mom. That's just a whole new thing to go through. Like, oh, I have to respond. Of course, this is my baby, but I have to respond to this baby. So I have to let go of all these things that I thought I was going to do. And that is a natural thing that needs to happen. I always say mothering is one of the best things if you really allow the invitation to make you less selfish, because you're forced to be less selfish. You just automatically have to put these little people in front of your own needs most of the time. And it makes you a better mother for it. And it's wonderful and it's humbling and it's hard. But I find that the baby wearing is something that has helped me cope with that. You know me, Jean, like I'm a doer. I get excited about projects and I love mothering too. So it's like, how does that all happen? I like baking, I like cooking. It's not always going to happen like it did before you had babies, but you can make it happen, especially if they like their carrier. And then you're just like, woo, we're doing this together. And it's so amazing. And yeah, I just find it very natural. And you obviously see that in all third world countries. It's like they choose to do it because those women are on their feet and they have to keep moving. They have multiple children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan said he was like worn all the time by his nana. And it was very similar to the Guatemalan custom sling per se. It adjusts. It can be like really up high or it can be down a little bit. It can be on your back. Like he says he was worn on his grandmother's back. Like
Oh.
through
Yeah.
his childhood or through his baby years, he was always worn by his grandmother or his mother. And so,
That's
yeah,
so
he's
sweet.
like, he's so excited too. He's like, I can't wait to wear.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The dads can wear the baby too, and then they get this huge bonding and from that, especially when the baby, I start putting the baby on my back around 4 to 5 months at the earliest, where you can switch it. And that's so fun. And then, because obviously it's a little bit easier to have some weight on your back than on your front. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's wonderful. I'm so excited for you to do that. And all I'm going to say is if the first couple times it's like a dud or the baby's uncomfortable or you don't have it tied right, that is so normal. It's just like breastfeeding where it takes a few days and you got to break through that, like that mental thing of going, oh, they just don't like it. No, all babies love being worn. I swear. It's like you have to find the right swing, the right fit, and you have to do it at the right time when they're sleepy and happy and get them used to that feeling. And then they'll get used to the feeling of being in motion with you and they'll relax. So it can just take a few tries.
Yeah, thank you for that advice. I think it's kind of breaking through the comfort zone on anything new, right? Like
Yes.
it's anytime you're doing something new, you're gonna feel, you're breaking through your comfort zone, and especially if the baby's reacting in a way that, you know, as a mama, you having your baby cry is
It's hard.
it's
Yeah.
but it's absolutely that's the
Normal.
vacation. Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what kind of natural remedies would you say that you use the most as a mother?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like that question. Um, okay. In a way, if this can be a remedy, I don't buy any um off the counter, like, baby creams and all that stuff. But massaging your baby from day one is incredible. It boosts their immune system. That motion of massage and putting in an oil. If you have a whole plant massage oil that you've created yourself, even better. Like, let's say you took oil and you had, a safe flower, like an easy one, like rose or St. John's wort or lavender, and it's soaked in the oil. And then, a month later, whatever, you take the plant out, but you have that oil that's been infused with the plant. It has to be whole plant, though. I don't use essential oils on my kids anymore. They just react too much. Anyway. But if you don't have any of that, coconut oil is your best friend, pure, just good coconut oil. And my favorite thing is the diaper change that's just before like the bedtime. I don't bathe my babies every day. I don't think that's natural unless they have a huge poop that's like behind their ears. I'll bathe them. But otherwise, maybe once a week, I'm doing a little bath. I think it's especially when they're first born, don't bathe them for a while. All that goodness from the womb is soaking into their skin and it's building a barrier. My husband's with the kids. If you can hear them, I'm not just ignoring them. Somebody's crying, but it's okay. Anyway, it builds a barrier for their immune system and it's incredible. And then massaging in with coconut oil. One, kids are this giant sensory being. We all are, in that massage turns on all their sensory things. You're touching them. You're gently pulling on each little finger, because babies are usually like this for the first few weeks. So you're trying to straighten their finger out and you're gently putting coconut oil on each finger. You're taking each toe, you're rubbing their arms and their legs. You turn them on your belly and you do a cute little butt rub. It turns everything on. It's incredible for their brain development. It's incredible for their immune system. It keeps them regular in their tummy. It helps them poop. And it's very light touch. You can watch videos on baby massage. I took courses on it and stuff. But it's so intuitive. Most moms are going to be Sorry, there's our realtor is our realtor that sold us our house is walking up to our front door. I don't know why. We've been in this house 2 months.
It's okay.
I think she's bringing Halloween things for the kids.
Oh,
Anyway, but yeah, the massage at that in and of itself is a natural remedy that I find helps so much when they're fussy. It helps them get into a sleep routine. So some people, their routine is a bath time before bed. They think that's what gets kids into bath. That's wonderful. But again, we just don't do baths every night. We were pumping our own water. Like we just didn't do that. We didn't feel the need to. So I couldn't really rely on that to get them into the sleep mode. So my thing has always been the massage. All my kids get massaged every night. And it's my favorite connection to them. That just relaxes them. And then I'm able to see, oh, you got a bruise there. Like, what happened? Oh, okay. You're able to just kind of look at your kids too and be like, hey, everything looked good. So that would be my biggest go-to remedy. The other thing is cod liver oil. I know it's not necessarily like a super home remedy, but it's old school. All children from like 3 months old on were given cod liver oil for hundreds of years. It's so potent, and babies take it and they're not phased by it. They're not phased by the fishy because they're babies. It's just like you get a little syringe and just in the corner of their mouth, kind of in the back, tiny little bit, like an ounce of cod liver oil. It gives them all everything. It's so high on iron, and I think because of it, my kids honestly never really get sick. Another great one is if they do have a cough, especially a chesty cough and snot as a young baby is scary because they just can't blow their nose, and it's like, and then they can't even breastfeed because they're like, so blocked. That can be intense. And if you're okay with it and you don't have one of those nose aspirator things, the best thing is to sit in a steamy room, like let's say close the door. If you have a shower room, close the door, run the shower as hot as you can, but you're not in the shower. You're just sitting on a stool outside of it and you're filling the room with steam, and you sit there naked with your baby and the snot just runs and runs, and you wipe it up. Sometimes you put your mouth and nose over your tiny baby's nose and you suck their snot. Yeah, I've done that many times. And it's just like, take it out and it's natural, and you spit it in the sink. That is for intense when they're blocked up. I would say steam. And probably the last thing, our major go-to is really good natural honey, getting like your local honey, whatever, raw, unfiltered, and giving them a spoonful once a day. It helps. None of our kids have allergies. Apparently, eating really good local honey will fight you against autoimmune stuff. But babies can't have honey until they're like, I give it around 10 months old, maybe a tiny bit in yogurt or something.
okay. Oh, yeah, this is such good medicine. And I know that we're nearing the end of your time window. And yeah, I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom and
Thank you.
some links of where to find Katie. She's written a amazing book. Do you want to say a few words about the book? Don't you have a course too?
I have a course, but right now I've taken down my website because we moved from Ireland to America, right? I couldn't manage my website in the course. So it's still out there. I did not delete it, but the website right now is accessible. My ebook, though, is available. It's called Nourishing Your First 40 Days. I'm really passionate about staying home the first 40 days with a new baby and what that does to your system. It's full of recipes, supply lists, breastfeeding tips, all the things I've learned from 4 babies and helping other women out and what works. And it's just a little ebook, and it's a digital download. I think it's like $4 right now on Amazon. So we can link that. I would love support for that. And
Yeah,
you can print it out or you can read it over Kindle or something.
okay. Thank you so much for Yeah, hanging
Yeah.
out, doing this webinar and sharing your wisdom. And I so believe that, you know, natural birthing and home birthing and natural remedies and herbalism and food is our medicine, and our touch and our way and our environment plays such a huge role in the development of our child and our own regeneration of our bodies and of our minds and connection to everything. It's all related. And so part of regenerating our reality is really regenerating our relationship with how we raise our children and how we just redesign our lives so that we are thriving. And yeah, I loved the tips and tricks that we discussed today. And I'm definitely going to, yeah, do the
Use
best
them.
I can, be the best mama I can. So,
Yes.
yeah, we have
I'm
a
so excited
bowl
for
of
you.
herbs. So I'm always like, my food is our medicine, and our connection to the earth and gardening and just being. And I have a lifestyle that I think is going to be very fun raising children, because well we
Yeah.
I'm like really driving out of the house like once a week. But I'm walking around I'm going to this river, walking to our neighbor's yoga shallow with a view, or just
Yeah.
I'm in a nesting mode
Peaceful.
too now.
Peaceful. That's great. Peaceful and ease and just feeling cozy. It's so important. I'd say, especially the very first year of that child's life, and you just bonding and being together and, making your life small, because then it mirrors their life more, and you're closer to then their needs, it's really
Mhm. Yeah, so with
nice.
that, we will end this beautiful Regenerate in Reality webinar series and um, conversation and learning all about natural ways and regeneration of the way that we really bring up our children and connect with them. And yeah, I've been very lucky and blessed that I have a bunch of mama network here in Costa Rica that have home birth, and we all just hand me down. It's like, oh, next baby, like
Yeah,
passing down everything. I've almost purchased nothing. I purchased a dryer because I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna need a dryer now. I can't just do solar,
that's good. Yeah.
dryer, which I have been doing for the last 8 years. So that was my big baby purchase, was a dryer.
Yeah. But that's really practical. That's going to be great. Dry all those diapers.
I know, exactly. So, and buying organic, yeah, diapers was another item. But besides that, everything has been given to us
Yeah,
and hand me down.
that's
And
great. That's
uh,
how I always was. I don't think I've bought anything for my children really until like the last one here, because we left a lot in Ireland, but it's huge and it feels so good, to share that and
yeah,
just be very easygoing with it.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited to pass along everything. I know babies grow out of everything so quickly, and in our society, sometimes birthing and having a baby can just be another consumeristic uh you know way
Yeah. It's
of
a People say, I heard my mom say, I don't know if we're gonna have another. It's just like so expensive, and we just have to think about that. And everybody has different things, but that what comes up for me is always, oh, I've never felt that. I've never felt like babies is expensive. And I know that everyone has different situations, but just internally, I'm like, huh, I didn't even realize that's such a reality for other people. I get that they get expensive. Like we're starting to feel that a little bit with our 7-year-old, like, okay, there's no more hand-me-downs. Like he needs a new winter coat and stuff. Um, we do secondhand most of the time because it just is great. But yeah, it can be so easy when you have a great community and circle of friends and you're not fussy, like
yeah.
I remember taking one of my old t-shirts and like cutting the sleeves off and making little ties on the side and like putting that on Cosmo when she was a baby, because I was like, well, this just comfy. It was really hot. And, like babies don't need much. They just need a lot of love. And
yeah. And we're here in the tropics. So we are very, it's nighttime. The nighttime has come in. So I'm cozying up. But yeah, most of the day I'm pretty,
warm and
a lot.
yeah.
I can imagine the baby being, hot.
Yeah. Naked babies are great. Running around. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you, Jean.
we send so much love to all the people that are listening to this replay, and you can find us in the links below. And yeah, we just send the seed of regeneration to you and spark this seed of change, because we are the ones that are making that change in each household and each farm and each community, and it does ripple outwards. Our families do embrace the change, and also it's a little ripple from our hearts and families outwards. So yeah, lots of love.
Thank you.